They actually have a little bit of a kind of resentment of it.
Well, I actually feel like people who take that view haven't taken the time to actually watch the series. I think that the work that Mr. Simon did, I just saw Barry Levinson, so I'm thinking about Tom Fontana, but that David Simon did, and all the other writers, the work that they did, they took the time to try not to paint that broad stroke that he accused them of. He made sure that he covered many different facets of people. There was not necessarily one good guy, not necessarily one bad guy. You know, I think they tried to make it as human as possible. So I can't personally agree with that, even just coming from a critical standpoint.
I'm curious, Benga, if in your career, like how much people, the show was, when it was on, was relatively popular, but not this huge sensation. After it went off the air, it became a sensation. And then it became this kind of cultural trope. Like, people really do feel like they know Baltimore because is that what people, like, when they come up to you, they're like? Every day I'm associated with The Wire, but I still consider it an honor. The Wire never ended for any of us who were on the show because it's still such a part of the social consciousness, but not just in the United States, not just in Baltimore, but around the world. And it's a great thing to still be a part of. So yeah, people feel that they know Baltimore, and I think unless you have been here and lived here for some time and are affected by the city, you don't know Baltimore. But The Wire is a good way to start to have that conversation. And like JD said, like they went out of their way to make sure no one was painted all good or all bad. And if you take that from The Wire, even people on the streets who loved some of the street life aspects of it, if that's all they saw, then I think they missed the point of the show. What are you doing down here? You're down here as a reporter, right?
I am. I'm here reporting for Vice HBO on what's going on here. I'm from Maryland, and we got in the car and we just came down about 40 hours ago. It's been like almost no sleep. It's been crazy. I got tear gas last night, just trying to just show and depict what's been going on. It's wild. Rubber bullets going like everywhere. They were shooting at us and other press. It was wild.
JD, you're from Newark, which is a city that has its own very intense experience of some of the same trends of deindustrialization, right. Police, high crime. You came down and you lived here in Baltimore for a few years while you were taping, right?
Correct. The first year, actually, I was really excited to come down. I hadn't been there since I had done Homicide, but I was all into just being away from home and working on a television show. So I actually rented an apartment down there the first year. That first year, which is something that I tweeted about earlier today, was the year I actually did get detained. I can't call it arrested, but I was detained for 8 hours, and that's a whole nother story. But that first year, I kind of went through the whole process of trying to get to know Baltimore. And it reminds me of home, Newark, in the aspect that it's really historic, it's mostly black, it has its own language, its own culture, just a lot, there's a lot to it. The first year, I decided, okay, the next year I'll stay home because it was just so much to try to learn and work around and squeeze into. Second year, I stayed home. By the third year, I was used to Baltimore, and I felt like it was a second home to me or a third home to me, and I was able to go down there and actually find somewhere to stay that was a reasonable place, and I actually stayed in Fells Point where you were earlier. And by the third year, I was used to Baltimore. I knew the spots. It felt like home. It just reminded me of Newark. Fourth year, also stayed down. So it takes a while to grow on you. You have to definitely grow into the city.
All right, Benga Akinebe and JD Williams, who are telling you, go rewatch The Wire, study it this time, don't think you know Baltimore.
That's right.
Bodie and Chris, if in The Wire, I should say. All right, that is all in for this evening. Thank you both. The Rachel Maddow Show starts now. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Chris. Excellent, my friend. Well done. And thanks to you at home.